Hello, backers. We are here for our post-game thoughts.
Y'all ready for them Chiefs? Y'all ready for them Chiefs?
Gotta love that music coming on. All right, so I don't know what everybody else thought of the game, but I thought special teams was really bad. Tobe needs to go. I'm done with him trying to kick it short. We know Butker can kick it out of the end zone every time, and he should, especially after the first return. It's just gotten ridiculous, and if he's going to keep making these calls, he needs to be done in Kansas City. He gave them plenty of chances to run one back. It's a little ridiculous. So I slept in a bit and didn't catch much of the game. It's recorded, so I was able to go back and start it and watch it from the beginning. I thought I heard my neighbor Scott yell, "We didn't win," so I was a little perturbed starting the game. Luckily, it wasn't true. I'm waiting for Adam and Gooch to get on here. Steve won't be with us except for the chat, I would say. He's got a bit of a migraine kicking, and I know how that is, so I don't blame him for not getting on with us whatsoever. So for the picks pool, Jacksonville did stay close enough to the Chiefs for the Chiefs to not cover 9 points. I think there was only 2 that picked KC for that, though. Yeah, Liz and Kim. We still knew KC was going to win this, but we didn't think they'd beat them by 10, which they could have if we didn't give up a field goal at the end there. If they would have just tried to keep going for the end zone, they would have won by 10. But 27-20 is not bad. None of us got the over, though. Okay, Adam didn't go for the over, and neither did Gooch, so looks like Adam is ahead of Liz by 1 game at this point now. I don't know where the rest of us are exactly. I think Gooch had a pretty good day. I think he only missed 1 with that over. No, it was the over on the Philadelphia game. Which everybody picked Philadelphia on the over, so there wasn't really any catching up on that game. So yeah, we all got 1 and missed 1. Which it looked like New York could have gotten the over on that if they would have not been trying to run the ball in the last 2 minutes and actually go for a score. All right. So where is everybody? I know Gooch likes to run fashionably late. But I thought Adam was pretty excited he was going to get on here with us. So let me see where they're at. So hopefully everybody was entertained during that time. It's a little too entertaining at times. Is Mahomes going to be? Is Mahomes going to be 100%? That's the question. So yeah, it looked to be hurting him really bad. I don't really know. And Liz was yelling that they shouldn't even have him in there, which Henny actually looked pretty good. I think we could have gotten away with not having him out there and still won this game. We might have won by even more. Not having a hobbling quarterback. But he still got another touchdown out there. It's a great throw to MVS. Let's look at some stats, see where we were at. Because I definitely didn't pay attention to that. Hey, brother.
Oh, shit. I don't have my mic plugged in.
I can hear you, though. What's going on? I'm just going to start looking at some stats because I definitely didn't pay attention to that while the game was going. Did you watch the game live the whole way?
I did, yeah.
I actually
I
slept
was
through it.
pacing. I was pacing like Ken the whole game.
Oh.
Like I wore out a path in front of my couch.
Yeah, makes me nervous when people do that.
I don't even know why I was so high strung about it. Like I was never really worried about the game.
Never
Like even when Patrick was hurt, they were like, "Oh no, Chad Henne has to come in," and I was like, "He knows the offense pretty well. I think he'll be all right. I think we'll be fine."
He was definitely all right.
And I like that. I like that Andy took charge and was like, "A healthy Chad Henne is better than him in this spot."
Yeah, when he could barely hand the ball off.
You can't run those outside zones because he can't get there. He can't make the handoff. So it's just I know he was frustrated, but I'm glad he held him out.
Might have needed to hold him out the rest of the game just to keep him for the next game. And
Yeah,
Henne
they
was
must
in the ball well enough that I don't think it would have been an issue.
Yeah.
They might have won by more.
They must have gotten good news from that X-ray because I was worried he was going to hurt himself.
Bradshaw actually, and Liz was worried about the same. Bradshaw actually said that the X-rays were negative and he'll be playing next week for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Bradshaw gets that info when we don't know. You're breaking up.
Did we hear anything about Snead?
No, he was back in there though.
It was broken nose.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, Andy didn't say broken. What he said was he had a nose thing, but he needed to get it set, and this and the other, make sure nothing else was wrong with it, and then he was back in.
Well,
So
when
that tells me
he said it's broken, Andy, come on.
Right.
He loves throwing his own medical terminology in there, though. Typically cracks me up.
So he got his nose broken from the Jaguars reaching their arms in there trying to get the ball.
Most likely.
Gosh.
I was playing strong safety in this semi-pro game a long time ago, and guy fumbles, and I'm like last one to the pile, and I reached my arm in and I poked a guy in the eye.
Damn.
Yeah. So don't do that. It's not smart. Yeah, the ref like came over and pulled me off. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Poking people in the eye. What do you want from me?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Did you hear what he said about my mom? You're lucky that's all I did.
I say a lot about your mom. Hi, Mom.
Overall, not a bad game.
No,
I mean,
just,
if you're not encouraged by this game, nothing is going to.
I'm just pissed about Tobe not having him kick it out of the end zone after the first kickoff return. Why would you
I don't
kick
think
it anymore?
I don't think one of those is Tobe's call. I think Bucker wasn't getting his foot through it.
Yeah, that is exactly how it seemed to me. I was like, "What is up?" Because normally he skies it.
Broke up again.
The end zone. No, every kick he had was line drive.
If you looked at all the other people, all the other players, there was a whole lot of sliding going on, and I think he's still bothered by that left ankle. And so he wasn't putting his all into it for fear, like in Arizona, he was going to step and it was going to give way.
Yeah.
Because, like Adam said, all those kicks were line drives, and he never kicks line drive kicks. So I don't think he wanted to plant his foot. I think he was just using his leg to try and get it through.
Well, usually Tobe will say whether to kick it out of the end zone or not. So, yeah, I guess I was assuming it was his call. I wasn't really paying attention to how he was kicking it, other than where it was going. So we're really sheep now with Brian, Adam, and Aaron. Bah. Steve's called us sheep before because of that. Now it really goes with it.
I mean, we really need you to change your name, Gooch. You are.
He's in last I knew.
I mean, when you follow me, good things happen. Jacksonville backdoor covers.
They didn't. Yeah, they covered, but didn't get the over in either game today. And Philadelphia looked like they might do it on their own.
Yeah. That last drive by New York, when they punt the ball in the fourth quarter.
When they punt the ball in the fourth quarter, and then you
Point.
can't hear you anymore.
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't think it's my mic. I think I'm lagging.
How bad was that game? I turned it off at 21-0.
It
Bad.
didn't really get any better from there. It never got close whatsoever. What did it end up being? 38-7?
Yeah.
38-10. Yeah, it was 45, so it must have been 7, right? So, yeah, never a close game. They blew him out of the water. Daniel Jones looked like crap the whole time. He was close to getting sacked. I don't know how many times. They got him at least 4 that I can think of off the top of my head.
That's what upsets me about today's game. Obviously, you don't want to see people hurt, but with the way that Mahomes was playing before the ankle, this had the makings of ugly.
Yeah. Once he got hurt, Henny came in and did great. I did not expect him to do that well.
I really was one of the few people that when Mahomes went back to the back and he was pissed about it, I'm probably one of the few people that was like, good fucking job, Andy.
No, yeah, we said that before you hopped on.
Sit his ass down this is, I mean, yeah, it's the playoffs, but people's careers have drastically changed from playing on an injury. I'd rather lose this game and know he's going to be 100% next season than throw him back out there on something that could have been fractured. You know what I'm saying? And then change the whole trajectory of his career. I was okay with it. I was like, look, okay, Mahomes is down. Henne versus Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? Win or go home. Let's do it.
It's not like we're trotting Matt Moore out there.
With a 10-point lead.
Chad knows the offense well enough. Everyone else is going to wake up because Pat's not out there. This is the smartest thing. Until you know what's going on, until you get an X-ray or you evaluate it further, don't put him back out there.
I also think it was smart because obviously Andy said that he was arguing to go back out there. Andy told him you don't get a chance to go back out there if you don't get X-rays. When you go back to get, if you don't go back to get the X-rays, like when you go back to get the X-rays, they're gonna make you take the shoe off. So you gotta take the cleat off. You gotta take the sock off. So that's when the swelling is really gonna start. So then they can really see what's going on. That's why I would assume Mahomes didn't want to go back there. Because if it swelled up too fast, he knew he wasn't going back in.
Right.
I like that Andy took charge of that situation.
I'm for that. And Henny did great. I know me and Steve have talked about putting Buechele in over Henny, which in a postseason game, I trust Henny's nerves over Buechele. So
well, Henny's played like if this isn't like if it was regular season, I'm with you. Put Buechele in. Let him see what he can do. But Henny has been in the league and has started in this league. So if I need somebody in a big time game, big time drive, and Mahomes is down, I'm trotting his 37-year-old ass out there. Go give me 5 first downs.
I'm with you in this case. But yeah, it'd have to be the regular season for me with Buechele because we know Henny's nerves aren't going to get to him in this situation.
Even active?
No.
He was not activated him at all.
I didn't think so.
But yeah, I'm good with that in this instance.
And apparently, according to Mahomes, he's still learning shit from Henny. So I say sign Henny for a couple more years as a backup.
What's up, Mike?
Well, they could always. Hey, Mike. Mike from Sweden's in. Okay.
Mikey!
I think it's like 5 o'clock there. 5 a.m. And Gooch disappeared.
Switch to
tunnel.
YouTube. Yeah, man, we need to fire Dave Tobe.
I'm good with that for sure. 6
It's
a.m.
over.
I was off by an hour.
He the special teams.
It's been a debacle.
The kick coverage, the punt coverage, and you had a 47-yard average.
$47-yard average on what?
On punt returns, Agnew had.
Jeez.
You know what scares me? Is that the offensive line played better after Mahomes got hurt. Where was that level of protection when Orlando was getting burnt time after time, and he's the reason why Pat got hurt?
Yep.
Then all of a sudden you become the second best O-line in football behind the Niners.
Liz pointed that out to me that
Brown.
Liz pointed it out to me that Brown gave up that that hit and got him hurt.
I must be the only one that thought it was dirty. I
He
thought
purposely rolled onto it.
Oh yeah.
It looked weird how he went down himself.
Like there was no reason for him to drag him down the way he did. I don't know. I'm probably biased, but it looked intentional. And Keys, that's why I have the hood up. I'm trying not to look like Dirty Dan.
It.
That's
I
messed up,
watched.
Steve.
I watched it. It did look rather sus when I watched it. I just didn't want to jump out and be like, "Oh, dirty hit," because everybody says that, and I kept watching it, and I was just like,
What?
"Man, it really does look like right as he's going down, he looks down, he sees he's about to land on him, and still lands on him."
He sticks out. If you watch his left knee, so the way he's falling, he would have landed like right knee over left knee. And then he like scoots his left knee out farther to make sure that he lands on his ankle. And I wouldn't have thought it was dirty until the way Keys hit Henny later in the game. And I was like, oh, this guy is head hunting.
And then Steve is saying Keys hit him helmet to helmet. And then he also dropped his weight straight on his knees.
Yeah. I mean, in real time, it'd be tough to throw the flag, but it looked dirty. And then it just confirmed it when he hit Henny helmet to helmet.
I wasn't sure if that was the hit he was talking about or not. I was assuming it was the one on Henny that actually got called, right?
Yeah.
And then they were trying to say that Saunders could have gotten called for it.
Yeah,
He
that wasn't
shoved
even
him
close.
before the helmet
Pushed
even
him.
got there.
Yeah.
Exactly. But leave it to Collinsworth. Collinsworth does seem to love Mahomes, though. Seems to. The rest of the Chiefs he can't stand.
Right.
Not that I can stand that guy.
Collinsworth gets on my nerves.
Yes. He's slightly better than Joe and Aikman.
Something about that voice just, unless he's, like you said, unless he's talking about Mahomes and you can hear his excitement when he speaks about him,
Right.
it just kills me.
I mean, I'd rather have Collinsworth than Romo and Nance.
Joe Buck or Aikman.
Okay, so I'm
Aikman
not
can
the
crack
only one
me
that
up
thinks
once in a while.
I'm not the only one that thinks Romo has kind of lost his luster.
Yeah. It wore off real quick.
Yeah, he doesn't typically talk good about us either. He just has a tendency of cracking me up here and there.
Did you guys hear Frank's on the field interview?
No.
They were interviewing him, and Chris Jones was there, and they were just talking to him like, 9 playoff sacks, which is a Kansas City Chiefs record, yada, yada, yada. And at the end, they're like, so who do you want to see, Cincinnati or Buffalo? And basically what he wanted to say, I think he said, I don't care, bring them all. Or maybe he said, fuck it, bring them all. But he was just like, bring them all on. And he walks off. And I was like, oh, snap.
I
My
like
guy with
that.
a swag.
I don't care which one we see. I just want to pay Cincinnati and Burrow back at some point, whether it's this year or next year. Yeah, I would rather play Cincinnati.
That
Honestly.
defense, though, that defense, I know we complained about it a little bit during the game. And I think some of the plays we gave up was just miscommunication or just young people mistakes. Like they're saying, oh, you can't call them rookies anymore because it's the postseason, but this is their first postseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this isn't bowl season. Like the games get faster and tighter, and they're still going to make mistakes.
And my boy Watson got him another interception.
Yeah, I mean,
What
some
else?
of it's just scheme. Like,
Oh yeah,
you
like
had
the first
had a play
touchdown with Karlaftis was on the
right. You've
receiver.
got
The first
Karloftis
thing,
in coverage because of what
the,
Spags is calling.
the first thing I said was good play call by the Jags.
Yeah.
Like they just ran it right. You're not going to win every single battle, and that was one of the ones I was just like I looked at it and I was like, damn good play call. Like you can't. That's Doug Peterson over there. Like he's not
Yeah.
a slouch.
You
You know what I'm saying?
put Christian Kirk in the backfield and ended up with a pass rusher on the best receiver on their side of the ball.
Right. It was just a good play call. Like I just tip your cap to him and keep going.
Speaking of receivers running the ball, though, I love that Tony one also. Tony lining up in the backfield.
Yeah, McCole, unless he takes a team-friendly deal, he's gone.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
And he might have to. I was thinking before he got hurt that he was gone for sure. Somebody was going to pay him way more than we care to. But he really came on in the first half of the season, and then since he's gotten hurt and had so many setbacks, I'm like, he might be here next year. Just depends on what the market tries to do.
I just don't think that even with what he's gone through, the market is still going to dictate a higher price than we're willing to pay him.
Well, yeah, because if you want to be completely honest, the free agent wide receivers next year, I think the biggest name will be Juju.
And hopefully he's not going anywhere. I could see MVS being cut, though, even though we signed him for a 3-year deal. But like I've said before, I think it depends with Juju. If we win the Super Bowl, I think he's gone after the biggest money contract he can get. If we get close and don't get it, I think he stays.
I don't think that's fair, Keys. I think when we drafted him, he said good riddance to McCole.
Hey, Wink.
And I just don't think that it's like you're expecting him to be Tyreek after 3 years. Like you saw what Tyreek, like how raw Tyreek was when he came into the league, and you're seeing the same things in McCole. Like some people just don't have it. Some people are just role players, and he's just a role player, and that's okay.
It's not even that. Like I know where Keys is coming from, because when every other receiver went down to Texas to work with Mahomes, McCole was like, "Oh, we'll figure it out in camp."
Well, he went down there a week later.
But to say that that's the reason that he's not elite, I don't subscribe to that.
Work ethic definitely does.
He also came from Georgia, who don't really produce a lot of elite wide receivers, and he didn't start playing until his junior year or senior year at wide receiver. They had him primarily as a kick returner.
And I also see where Keys is coming from, because his work ethic hasn't shown that he wants to be elite. So Tyreek busted his ass every offseason and went to route running camps and shit like that. So he really busted his ass to get where he is now. And McCole, we don't know what he does in the offseason, but show up to Mahomes' place a week later than everybody else. I don't know if he thinks he's already got their timing down or what?
Well, I think he's one of those. It could be he went to a Super Bowl and won his first year out in the league. And some guys, when you hit the pinnacle or the top of the mountain, you don't feel like you have to change what you did and you got there the
He
first
just
time.
thought this shit was going to be easy.
Right. Even Mahomes said that, but Mahomes was like, I thought that's what you did. You just went out, won games during the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until they got embarrassed in the Super Bowl, he was like, okay, this isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to work. He said it himself. And some guys are just,
So it's not Greg Lewis's fault.
coaching can only do so much. I mean, the players have to play.
Agreed.
No, because
but
Aaron
he
said Greg
didn't
Lewis.
help develop him any. I don't get what he did. I don't get the point of a position coach if they don't help develop somebody. Yes, they have to have a work ethic and do stuff on their own as well because they can't do everything for the kids. But yeah, I just don't think much of Greg Lewis since then. I know they moved in positions, but have you seen
I'm just
improvement
saying-
with the
I'm
running
just
backs
saying-
catching?
Everyone's expectations seem a little high. I get it. We're the greatest team on earth. But like, calm the fuck down.
I don't know. I don't care for him. I don't see what you see.
I think he's great. Look at what he's done with Pacheco. Does he not get credit for that? He's the running back coach.
I won't give it to him. I
Fuck
give that
off.
to Pacheco's
guys just-
attitude.
You guys just move the goalposts. I'll just keep kicking the same direction.
I think it's
What else?
Pacheco's mentality more than Greg Lewis.
What else were we arguing about that prompted this?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure this was it. Yeah, it was the McCall argument. Because I like Greg Lewis.
I liked him taking one for the team when he got shoved.
Yeah.
And they eventually threw that guy out of the game. But
No,
yeah,
I
he was also
definitely-
protecting the player by pushing that guy off of him.
Keys, I definitely agree with you. Like, I would expect when you're around elite players like Travis and Tyreek that you would glean something from them.
And
But
pick
it's
their
like when
brain
you're around
constantly.
those guys, like just by osmosis, you're gonna pick up something. If the kid still doesn't have it, if he's still not a complete player, like there's a disconnect. He's just not gonna get there. Like I just don't. Whatever the reason is, yeah, I'm not gonna be disappointed when we lose him.
I thought he improved a lot though from last year to this year.
But I think a lot of that is Andy. I think a lot of that is Andy making plays to get him open. Everything was in the red zone with him, and that's
I
all.
think him
Andy. That
having
doesn't-
more opportunities
pure-
showed.
sure, and it's pure speed on his part. That's all he brings to the table.
I think he showed a lot with the more opportunities this year though.
I agree with
Especially
that
in the
too, Keys.
red zone.
I don't like that they moved him to running back coach.
I don't care if he goes.
McCall
Guess I'm alone on that. No,
or Greg Lewis. I
McCall,
mean, we're all.
I like the kid, and I want him to stick around. I just don't see it happening.
I know that
I'm
we're
not-
hoping for this like mass exodus of coaches, but I think we're all going to be very disappointed, especially if we win
generally.
a Super Bowl. Like you
It
got to
took how
hope that all
long?
these guys go out and get jobs somewhere else.
It took at least a year longer to get rid of Sutton than we wanted.
I think the Bieniemy experience is over, the experiment. I think that's done.
Yeah.
He's going to coach next year somewhere else. The Chiefs aren't going to bring him back. Reed's going to retire in 2 years, and it's going to be Nagy's team. Andy has already said he's only going to coach a few more years, and that's how he said it, few. So I'm assuming 70 is going to be his cutoff. And everybody likes Nags. I mean, even Henny, when he was naming off during his post-game presser, when he was, the coaches put us in good position, Coach Reed, Coach Nags, and then he had to say, and Coach Bieniemy. Like, he had to pause for a minute and bring him up. I think Bieniemy's gone. If he's smart, he'd go to Indy or Denver.
Where? Indy?
Yeah, Indy loved him.
Well,
But
got some ties. He's got some ties.
That is Jim Irsay, and he did give the job to Jeff Saturday. Who knows? Jeff Saturday might be the coach next year.
He couldn't be mad about Ballard being there either. Ballard draft's great. They just don't like to get good quarterbacks there. Which I think Rivers has done the best out of any of them in the last 4 years. Philip Rivers at the end of his career.
Rivers is a pure passer, and I can talk good about him now because he's not a Charger, but he's a damn good quarterback. Like, Rivers was good. His team sucked.
I just can't get over his throwing mechanics. I have a hard time calling him a good quarterback because
and you can't pick apart mechanics when Mahomes has some of the worst in the league. He just manages to do what others can't. Mahomes even said himself in his own presser, and I've said his footwork, and they were like, how are you able to do this? He was like, well, my feet aren't in the right place most of the time. So
yeah,
we know that's right.
But I'm not necessarily saying footwork. I'm just talking throwing motion.
Well,
like Rivers looked like he was throwing shot put every time. It was painful to watch. Like, how does this guy ever beat us?
And he completes passes when you know what your ability is, and you hone that. Like, it's no matter how ugly it is.
Refs have helped him a lot over the years too.
I like listening to him cuss because he doesn't cuss. I just need a Philip Rivers mic'd up like season.
Yeah,
just to listen to him.
He's really entertaining.
That accent too.
Yeah.
I saw something where somebody was like, "You don't have to do this in my face," and he's like, "I'm going to." Yes, I do. I can't do that accent, but it was funny.
I honestly didn't like Philip Rivers until I think I started to like him. I guess they were playing the Chiefs, and he did something. He ran over and he rubbed Andy's belly, and then went back to the huddle. And I was like, "That's fucking awesome."
He's got some balls too.
Yeah, but Andy Reid's not one of those. It's like gonna take that personally.
No.
Like, he tackled him, went over, said something to Andy. Andy was smiling, and he like patted and rubbed his belly and went back to the huddle. You know what I'm saying? I was just like,
best senses of humor.
I was like, okay, I can dig that, because that would be some shit I would do if I knew you on the opposite sideline. I'd run over and be like, "Gotcha, big boy," and give you your attaboy slap on the ass.
So how many years did you give Andy before he retires?
He said 2.
I'm guessing 2 to 3.
Like, you don't think he coaches into his 70s?
No. He's been doing it. You have to figure he was a coach for a long time in college, and he's already been in the league long enough. Like we're talking about his wins now, That's just 20 years as a head coach. He was an assistant coach and stuff like that before then. So you got to figure 30 plus years doing this, grandkids getting older. I mean, at some point, you got to think,
Have any?
yeah. At some point, you got to think you want to spend, and I'm not wishing early demise on anybody. But at some point, when you've done something like this for a long time and you're older, you got to think about, I want to relax my last few years with my wife and travel or teach or just relax and not have the 3 a.m. mornings and work all day till, midnight and go home and do it again.
And I've definitely heard stories about the level, like we can't even imagine the level of stress of an NFL head coach.
Right.
But I don't know if because it's been, I don't know, not easy, but easier for him, it definitely doesn't feel like this, like it would be the same level of stress for him. Like maybe he hasn't necessarily experienced that level of stress on his body.
Which, I could be absolutely wrong. Like he said he's 64. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and it probably is a main reason why all of us are calling for these coaches' heads. But Andy keeps the guys that know him around him so it can be less stressful.
Some of it has to do with us being spoiled too.
So he can hand off
sure.
so he can hand off responsibilities and know what he's going to get from certain people instead of somebody he doesn't know and then having to worry about that as well as trying to put together a game plan or manage every other function of the team.
Compared to like 10 years ago to now, the last few years, we've gotten really spoiled. And that's part of the reason I want Tobe gone, I'm sure. Has to do with me being spoiled by all this.
I mean, yes and no. I mean,
But
some of the stuff that's happened on special teams this year is pretty unforgivable, and it's become a trend.
I heard something during the broadcast today that I didn't even think about. Like, if you look at the special teams players, most of them are rookies or not usual special team players.
Yeah,
Like
he doesn't
all
have
of our-
core special teams players.
Right. Like
Yeah.
all our core guys are gone. So he's teaching this kind of on the fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't complaining about Tobe when Sherm was there, Kemp was there, like all those other guys who have been with the team for years but played special teams. It wasn't until
the only one I can think of off the top of my head is Lamons.
like once all these people were gone and now he's trying to reteach his system, now we're all like fire Tobe, but like Watson's out there on special teams. You know what I'm saying? Najee Johnson is out there on special teams.
I mean, this isn't me and you out there. These are athletes. If he's the best special teams coach of all time that everyone used to tout 5-6 years ago, like why is he not able to teach these guys? How is he not able to hold Agnew to under 47 yards returning?
I've got the flip side of that too. I mean, but it's like we're holding him to this standard, but he can't control the fact that Sky can't corral a punt or a kickoff. You know what I'm saying? Can't teach him
Don't
that.
bring up Sky. Don't bring up Sky. Don't do that. That is not good for your case.
We're Tobes.
No, I definitely think we are spoiled. No doubt.
Yeah, Key's usually bringing up Spags, which
That's
I thought
because
our
he did all
defense
that.
showed out.
He did all that in Discord.
Oh, really? I'm surprised he hasn't said anything about it though. But yeah, it's one game. What was really driving me nuts was this 6'6" skinny ass kid running all over us. What the fuck is that about? And people aren't laying shots on him.
Who, Trevor?
Sunshine.
Sunshine, yeah.
If he's running,
Picking
that
up
just tells you
third.
that. I mean, in all honesty, if he's running just like Mahomes, that means the defense was playing what they were supposed to play and had everybody locked up.
But there's nobody around to tackle him or put a shot on him.
I mean,
I
how
mean,
many
he's not
people have been
really a
able
guy
to?
you spy.
Right, like he's not Mahomes. He doesn't normally run.
But you should be able to stop him on a 3rd and 10
Well,
before he gets to the first down.
you would say that about 5'4", 42nd Mahomes too, and he would run for 20-something yards. Lawrence is faster than Mahomes.
Is he?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought so.
that's
But-
because Sunshine glides. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He don't run, he glides. Yeah.
Sunshine. Keys said, if Sean Payton joins the Broncos, is our coaching staff good enough? Yes.
Peyton's
You
not
know
coming.
why?
Peyton's not
Because
coming
we
to the
have-
Broncos.
We have Andy fucking Reid.
Peyton's going to Arizona.
If he went, which we know he's not now, if he went to the Chargers, I would definitely be more scared.
He's
Yeah.
going to Arizona.
But what's his ass is? Did
Vic
you already
Fangio.
hear something? Gooch?
Yeah, that he likes Scottsdale.
Huh.
Yeah. I can't believe Brandon Staley's keeping his job.
No,
It's
it's whatever.
That's
I'll take another couple wins.
right.
Probably.
He's not going to go to the Broncos because the Saints are going to want the only first-round pick they have, and it's the one they got for Chubb from Miami. And Saints really would prefer it be a middle-of-the-round pick or higher. So he's not going to end up in Denver.
So he's still got a contract over there.
Oh, yeah. He retired.
Am I
What?
am I crazy, or didn't he say that he's going to have Vic Fangio as his DC?
That's what I
Yep.
thought.
Yeah,
That's what
so
he
he's
said.
definitely not going to Denver.
Right. All right, see, now, I thought about that because they really didn't blitz
No.
after Mahomes got hurt. But I think the reasoning behind that is because
I didn't think
Henny
they
and
had.
Mahomes were both getting that ball out quick. And if you send the blitz and you have Pacheco, McKinnon, Kadarius, and they're all out there as drop-offs, you're burnt if you don't get to Mahomes that fast. I mean, you're done. Because now you've got those speedsters in open space, and Kadarius, for being as skinny as he is, that guy is tough to bring down.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we were also in 22 personnel through a lot of Henny's drive. So he had a lot of extra protection anyway.
I was impressed with the strength by Tony, though, for sure, on that run.
It is, however, interesting. It still is interesting. Like Henny, of course, max protect. You've got the speedsters out there. You give them the ball. But when Mahomes came back, you knew he wasn't running.
Right.
And they were still doing like Chiefs plays. They initially were getting the ball out quick, but then once he got comfortable and the line started playing a lot better, like he was back there for some seconds. And they still didn't attempt to bring. I mean, I guess you figure everybody says, excuse me, you don't want to blitz Mahomes. But the reason you don't want to blitz him is because when he gets out of the pocket, you know, he's at his best. But you didn't, like, you know he wasn't going to get out of the pocket. And that's the one place he hates to be because of his athleticism, of course, and his talent. But you could have hemmed him up a few times. I mean, Orlando had already been proven to be the weak link on that line, and then Andrew Wiley. Interesting.
Anybody want to take a shot at reading Keys's
Yeah, there's
comment
pressure
here?
between one having Mahomes and two chasing the Patriots. And if we're honest, the rest of our division has Amber Hearded the bed the last few years with their head coaches.
I was gonna say with a Philip Rivers accent, but okay.
I don't have a Philip Rivers accent.
Okay, you can't do it either.
Hell, I'm still battling whatever the hell I caught, whether it's the flu or.
Is it a Kentucky accent? Is that what he has?
I basically.
There's pressure between having Mahomes chasing the Patriots, and if we're honest, the rest of our division is Amber Hearded the bed the last few years with their head coaches.
There we go. Okay. We said that one. We play a lot of man, so if you're in cover 2, it's the D line. Yeah.
Now, in defense,
he is
as a big guy, Keys, I want to say again, the reason why a lot of these people aren't faster than the big guys is because once you get all that weight moving one direction, we're actually faster than we look. You know what I'm saying? It takes a minute to get it going, but once we get there, top speed, you got to add 5 more mile per hour for the weight that we're letting carry us to the spot.
Wow. Peyton apparently wants 20 to 25 million a year, so how many teams can actually pay that? And
Walmart
Jets,
can. Walmart can
Jets,
definitely pay that.
The Jets can pay it.
but would he go there?
Arizona can pay it. Miami
Saleh
can pay
kept
it.
his job anyway, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
His offensive decisions. Yeah, I think it was because they were running all over us. They didn't really need to be aggressive because they were gashing us for 15 to 20
Eddie
on the ground.
Good. That running
And
back.
then they were killing us with those screens.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the next comment there, Aaron. Because I said the exact same thing, Keys. As soon as he lit up Aluakun, I was like, pay that man. Pay that man. I will pay him whatever he wants. Pay that man. That is a linebacker, and he decleated him.
Not only decleated him, sent him backwards. Like
that is number 1 in tackles in the league.
Really?
When we play football, we call that eating that man's lunch. You know what I'm saying?
I heard it. I wasn't really paying attention there. I was following the ball on that, but Liz rewound it and pointed it out.
The funny thing is even if you followed the ball, like you heard the hit and you were like, damn, what was that? Like somebody got cracked.
I definitely heard it.
That was a Trey Smith pancake right there.
Yes.
Randy Moss.
I love Randy
Moss gets me every time, too.
That might have been more Randy Moss than...
it was definitely more Randy Moss.
Than Rivers.
I still disagree, Keys. I think Doug is smart enough to know to stick with what works. And if he's able to run it down your throat, he's going to keep running it down your throat. I mean, that's how he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles.
Yeah, we're talking about the coach who started a game with an onside because of Mahomes. That was because of Mahomes? I just thought it was our team in general. Playing scared. He knows he's got to get as many possessions as he can against the Chiefs. So, from what Terry Bradshaw said, Mike in Sweden asked, what's the prognosis for Pat? Haven't seen the pressers or anything. So, the
He's getting
X-ray
an
came
MRI
up
done
negative.
tomorrow.
Oh, he's getting an MRI?
Yeah.
Okay. I just know about the X-ray coming up negative. So he didn't break anything. That's pretty much what we know so far, but Bradshaw basically guaranteed he was playing next week.
Well, that's because he said he was good. But, and, you know, he also said you're not taking him out of a playoff game, but Andy Reid is making him get an MRI on Monday, so, or tomorrow, whenever they can get him in.
Probably a good idea. So, yeah, then the Philadelphia game was awful. Do we want to talk about?
Which, if you watch the picks pool, you already knew, we all knew that game was going to be awful.
We all saw that coming.
We all picked Philadelphia on the over, but they didn't hit the over because Dable didn't have a great game plan this week. And Daniel Jones, what can he do? He played out of his mind last week, so we knew he wasn't going to this week.
I mean, that defense looks so good.
Philadelphia's, yeah.
Yeah, that defensive line is scary.
That defense,
I don't want to play
it's-
them in the Super Bowl.
It's because of that secondary. That secondary doesn't have a lot of names on it, but man,
Yeah,
do they
Gardner's-
play tight.
Gardner's really good.
Is he still there? I thought he was gone.
Yeah, he's still there.
I knew he was there a couple years ago, but I don't really follow the Eagles, so I thought.
What do you guys think happens tomorrow with the Cincinnati and Buffalo?
I think Buffalo. I think Cincinnati wins.
I think so too.
I think Buffalo blows them out.
But see, I picked, now in the picks pool, I picked Buffalo. But for some strange reason,
No, you didn't. You picked
Yeah, I did.
Cincy. You switched it at the last minute to Cincy. I edited the video.
Yeah, you did go back to Cincy.
yeah.
I mean, if you want to change it now, go ahead.
No.
Yeah, we
I
can.
really like.
That's allowed.
I want Cincy to win because I want the payback, but part of me feels like the NFL is going to make it so they can get to that Atlanta game. I mean, they've already sold 50,000 tickets for it, and nobody knows if the Chiefs and Bills are playing there yet.
That's strange. But I'm with
I mean,
you. I want the
refunds
payback.
exist. Yeah, I definitely do too.
But with Mahomes, that ankle needs to be good.
If it comes out that it's a high ankle sprain, it's not going to be good till after the season.
Right. Which would be really disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, if he's anywhere close to 100%, I don't think it matters who we play in the AFC Championship game.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if he's 50% because what I saw this afternoon, he's still on one leg better than most quarterbacks.
Yeah, that touchdown pass to MVS. How many people in the NFL can do that?
On the wrong foot, jumping.
Hopping off your off foot.
So Keys is asking me if Henny's playing in that week 10, does Doug do the onside kick? I think it's a possibility. Mahomes is definitely scarier than Henny, but he knows Reed and he knows the other talent on this team.
He also knows our special teams is trash.
Basically. So I won't guarantee that he would, but and it's definitely more likely he does it because of Mahomes. But our whole team is
I
got
think I
talent.
think I think he does it anyway because it's still Reed, and it's still like you have to surprise Reed and make him kind of switch up his attack. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have done it. Everybody's relaxed. You're expecting a normal kickoff, and then here comes the onside kick. I've already got the ball.
So Mike says he'd say that Cincinnati gets it, but it depends on if Josh becomes a superhero tomorrow. Which
He's
he
gonna put
doesn't
on the
have.
cape, boys.
He doesn't have Dable anymore, so I don't know. But yeah, if you'd like to play along with our picks pool, feel free to go comment on those videos, and we'll definitely shout you out in the next one. Since he's missing 3 offensive linemen, might really even things up. Yeah, especially if they're still out against us if they win tomorrow. But yeah,
They're not
they've
gonna win
got
tomorrow.
Buffalo's got a hell of a D line, don't they? I know they have a great secondary, but I'm not drawing a blank on their line.
Yeah, I'm not familiar either.
I know there's one guy, at least, that I think is really good, but I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Pat on one leg, still top 10. Yes, sir.
I agree. Nate Tice tonight said Mahomes with a bad ankle is still a top 2 or 3 QB. I don't know if I'd go that far. Depends on how bad of an ankle, because he could barely get over to hand the ball off. I'll definitely give him top 10, though.
He's only going to be 50%. Like what?
You cut out again.
Grade is the ankle sprain?
That's all we heard is what grade the ankle sprain.
Yeah, that's the question. What grade the ankle sprain?
They aren't afraid of us outside of Mahomes, huh? Maybe not.
That's all we got in Kansas City. Patrick
Rousseau.
Mahomes.
Greg Rousseau. That's exactly who I was thinking of. Thank you, Keys. Nate Tice is and former NFL head coach Mike Tice's son. I didn't realize they were related. That makes more sense now. Oh, he's got all the ties he does. I like that guy, though. Ryan knows him. And the handoffs were dumb. Outside zone with a QB with a bad ankle. I'm with you on that. Why don't they just do a toss play? Why do you have to hand it to the guy? Just toss it back.
Yeah, they kind of did one to Kadarius Toney that actually almost scored a touchdown.
Right. Exactly. Don't make a move. Well, I think that's all I've got.
Yeah, I feel like I had more, but
They are calling it a high ankle sprain right now.
yeah.
Okay. That's not good.
But he's still going to have the MRI.
I'm guessing that's pretty accurate, though. Gooch, do you have
Question.
any?
I got one question. I actually sent it on Twitter to Pat Mahomes to see if he'd answer me. I want to know how much tape was on that ankle. and if he can skip leg day since he was dragging around an additional 25 pounds.
There's about 6 rolls of tape on that ankle. Yeah, just shoot him up with some Toradol. He'll be fine.
Right. Toradol
Oh,
is underrated.
He's at home right now feeling it. I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah. You should have a Clamato then.
I mean, we're so lucky that it's not worse.
Or 5. Yes. Agreed.
Yeah,
Mike
double
took
jointed
3
might have
4
saved him.
rolls.
I actually, when I saw it, I actually looked at it. I was like, "Oh, that's broken."
Yeah,
Because the way that he got up, and the way he was holding that knee and that leg, I was like, "Oh God, it's broken."
it was the 3rd or 4th step he took where it kind of gave out, and I was
He said, "Oh fuck something."
fuck you.
Don't you cut out again. And you've got
All right,
a
I'm done.
comment
Hey,
over
I've got
outta
there.
here.
something. Does anybody know what Joey Bosa said to the refs to get fined $56,000?
56.
No.
What do you think he said?
I mean, God, I don't
Something
know.
about their mom.
56K, it must have been something really good.
Let's hope it
He
was
said-
worth it.
Your mom's a hoe.
The fact that the ref chased him down, though. Like,
Yeah.
the guy's in a playoff game, and it's not going his way. You're not calling calls. He was being held on a couple of them. And
Absolutely.
he's mad. And he's talking. The fact that the ref chased him down to throw the flag or say something to him, which probably prompted a good fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's got to be addressed too.
In your face, Liz.
Oh,
Best red
Jesus.
beer ever. Agreed.
That's
Mike.
what that is one thing that I wanted to bring up was Butker 2 for 2 on field goals, 100% on extra points. Suck it, Liz.
And they were perfect.
Yeah, he crushed them.
Man, it is nice that somebody else is giving Liz grief than me. That's the kind of thing that just tickles my balls.
I don't get the hate, man.
You couldn't work for Foot Locker. Wait, wasn't it the same ref that flagged Jones? Ooh, I don't know. That wouldn't surprise me, though.
Wasn't it
That's the case.
Cheffers that flagged Jones?
I don't remember. Because Jones said mean words. Was it Sean Smith?
Sean Smith?
I got
I
one
don't remember.
complaint. I really got one major complaint about the game. We couldn't get Travis one more catch so he could break the record for most receptions in the playoff game.
Oh,
I mean, he's
thought he
got the
already
most
did
for a
with
tight
14.
end.
It's so petty. But 15 was the record for most in the game. I was like, we couldn't get
Well,
him one more
damn.
catch.
So
Man,
he
I
ended
almost
with
said
14.
something too.
What? What were you going to say?
No, I was gonna text in the group chat like Travis is about to have 12 catches in this game. Like he is gonna light it up.
14.
Now I can't say I told you so.
Keys is wondering if it's the record's 21.
No, they were saying, they were showing on the thing,
15
14.
is for a tight end.
14 is the tight end record because it breaks his record that he had 13 in a couple years ago.
Okay. I thought they
But
said something like that.
They were showing the graphic, and they were showing James White had 15, Somebody else had 15. Kelsey had 14. And then Kelsey again with 13 and somebody else. They didn't show 21.
I gotta make sure Liz sees this comment when she watches. So yeah, my oldest brother's wedding. Gosh, what is this now? 15 to 20 years ago?
I was 14 when he got married, so 20 years ago.
Jeez.
He's
They're
been with the
getting
same.
old.
He's been with the same woman for 20 years.
It's scary just in that, right?
Well, yeah, because now it's like,
The 3 kids.
till death do us part is a goal now, and not,
Right.
something he can. I mean, if he'd have killed her sooner, he'd be out of jail by now. You know what I'm saying?
They do have a lot of guns and a big property now.
I'm sorry, Adam. You're newly married. Don't let your wife listen to this part.
Yeah, don't worry.
And Gooch hasn't ever been married.
Nope. There's 2 things I like about being me. No wife, I can keep my money. I have trouble sharing.
I'm lucky in that department. Liz makes her own. She didn't try to spend all my money.
Oh, hey, Keys. Congratulations. Keys is going on 14. All you lovely married guys.
Yeah, you should try it out, man. It's all right.
Makes me weep for you guys a little bit.
I think it's been 11 for us.
God damn.
Yeah, 11.
I mean, it's hard for me to share things with my mama. I can imagine waking up to the same person every single day.
Well, we work different shifts, so
That's good for you. And plus, when the animal's sleeping, and when she hibernates, you actually get a half a year of free time. Man, Liz, that was a good one. I wish you were on here for that one.
I do like that. Make sure she hears that too.
And I always get the good ones when she's not on the stream. I can never have those good ones when she's sitting there.
I'll make sure I cut all of these together in shorts so she can see all of them. She doesn't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, Keys, we kind of lucked out on that too, so she doesn't care about spending money on herself.
I think I'm the one in the relationship that I don't really spend money on myself.
That's typical.
Yeah.
I actually think if I was in that kind of, I would be the same way. I don't spend money on myself now, and I'm,
We probably spend more on the nieces and nephews than each other.
I spend on other people too. Like I'm quick to help somebody or, do something like that, and not think about
Buy
myself.
a big gift.
Right.
I did get her the virtual reality, which I still haven't checked out.
Oh, you got the Oculus thing?
Yeah, I need to go steal it and check it out.
What's that like? That's like 400 bones, ain't it? See, I look at something like that and I'm like, really?
It's like $5, yeah.
See, I look at something like that and I'm like, whew, I'll be waiting till that comes down about $300.
Yeah.
I still haven't even looked at it. It's been almost a month.
When does that go on sale? That's my thinking right there.
You should have got it right after Christmas, probably. I don't know.
I won't even fill my tank up. I hate spending money.
I do the same shit. I'm like $15 is enough for right now,
Right.
and I have the money. There's no reason to not just fill it up. I just
Right. I walk
so
into the gas
stupid.
station and I'm like looking at the car and I'm like, let's
The
go ahead and do
longest-
15.
The longest I typically wait to fill up is when I hit half a tank. I'll usually
Oh,
do
you-
it after I use a quarter of a tank. But I've got like 34-gallon tank.
So you're different than me. Like I'm riding around like, all right, I've got 60 more miles. How many days can I go on this?
I was driving to work the other day with 19, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I can get there.
Light comes on and I'm like, that means I got 3 gallons left. This car does about.
There were plenty of years I was there. But yeah, since I got that truck, I'm not trying to get down too low because it'll be like probably $120 to fill it up.
Yeah, it feels better when you don't have to do that, right? Still spending the same amount, but just $20 at a time.
Yes, sir.
The Shaq theory.
Yeah, typically she's pretty good about it. She actually spent some money on you guys too. We'll see when she actually sends those out. If I still worked somewhere where I sent regular shipping shit out.
And you know
Yeah,
what's funny?
yeah.
You know what's funny about that, Keys, man, is I will do that, but will straight yell at my mom if she doesn't fill her tank up, so she can make sure she can get everywhere. But when it comes to me, I'm like, I'm gonna get 10 on pump 1.
All right, boys. I got to bounce.
Yeah, brother, you be safe.
Yeah.
It's
Good
time.
talking. Go
Thanks for
Chiefs.
coming on.
I'll see y'all later. Have a good one.
You too, brother.
And with that, Gooch, you want to pay the bills?
Hey, it's been over an hour. We appreciate all y'all that came in, especially our partner Keys, who was in the chat. Keys, we hope you feel better. Keys has a severe migraine. But we appreciate him being here in spirit and in the chat talking with us. Make sure you all take care of yourselves. Obviously, we appreciate you joining us. We love doing this kind of thing. And obviously, we ramble off into other topics, which is fun for us. We appreciate you. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. We'll be back later on. So catch us.
Have a good one, everybody.
You got your team, and we got a kingdom. Ready for war, we score and win. We're the Super Bowl champs, the king of the hill.